Chris Godwin, Mike Evans, O.J. Howard to feast on the vacated volume in Tampa Bay, of course. What do you think, man?
Absolutely. We got Adam Humphries and DeSean Jackson gone now. That just those two combined for 183 targets, 1,560 yards, and 9 touchdowns. And the Bucs overall rank 4th in total vacated targets with 229 total, 2,193 yards. And that's all going to be opened up inside of Bruce Arians' explosive scheme. So this is huge news. Mike Evans was already going to be your second rounder, but he was falling to, right to the tail end of round 2, sometimes even into round 3. To me, he vaults right up into Mike Thomas, Tyreek Hill, Juju territory as a very acceptable wide receiver 1. He actually last year trailed only Tyreek Hill in deep yardage, 543 yards on 20-plus yard throws, and now we'll have even more vacated deep yardage with DeSean Jackson no longer roaming that part of the field. And Bruce Arians, no risk it, no biscuit, loves to sling it deep. So this is an alpha wide receiver 1 that can run the entire route tree. That size outmuscles defenses, just unbelievable. And I think he's had that kind of on and off trend. He was obviously on last year as the top 5 receiver in fantasy. I don't think he goes backwards. I think he stays right up in that range of the top 7 or so fantasy receivers. Godwin's the sexy name. Everybody loves him in the fantasy community, and for good reason. He's got a 6'1" frame, but he plays bigger than that because he's got excellent body control, great leaping ability. And the reason I really like this guy, especially with Humphries gone, is he seems pegged for that slot role in Bruce Arians' offense. And that's where Larry Fitzgerald, that late career resurgence happened, where he gets sent on deep slants and uses his big frame to post up defenders, especially in the red zone. Godwin's very similarly talented in that sense and runs a very similar route tree to Larry Fitz. So I think that could be an absolute money roll for Chris Godwin. He's up to 56 on my big board. That's plus 8 against the ECR. But somebody that I see getting hated on, and it doesn't make any sense to me, is O.J. Howard. Now, this is one of those things. Coaching trends can be actually correlation traps. And you know me, I love coaching trends as much as anybody. I break them down, dig in, and yes, Bruce Arians' tight end production has been very lackluster, but I mean, he's been thrown to Jermaine Gresham and fucking like Rob Hausler and all these just disgusting names. He hasn't had an O.J. Howard. I mean, this guy's ridiculous. He's averaged 16.6 yards per catch as a behemoth, 6'6", 251 pound, just monster that runs a 4.51 40. That's faster than Mike Evans. And again, Bruce Arians' calling card is going deep, slinging the rock, finding mismatches. There's not a better mismatch weapon than O.J. Howard. He was fantasy's tight end 5 last year in points per game before going down, and now he's in a prime position to even get more deep targets with DeSean Jackson gone. I absolutely love this guy. I'm 13 spots higher than the ECR, up at 50. My clear-cut tight end 5, and I think he could absolutely explode as long as he stays healthy. That's the risk with him, but overall, all that open volume for those 3 weapons especially is going to be a beautiful thing in this explosive scheme.
I mean, sometimes we go back and forth on the Bucs, and, I don't love some of the weapons that they have as much as you do. I do believe in Arians a lot, and I think this is a huge year for them because I think if they don't put it together this year, it's time for everyone to part company.
I will never go back in. If they can't get it together under Arians, I will never trust a Buccaneer again in my life.
Yeah, and I think it could go that way, but I'm pulling for him. I mean, like you said, what were we talking about the other last podcast? There was like 4 or 5 receivers that had over 40 touchdowns in the last, 4 years or something. Mike Evans was one of them.
He was one of them, yeah, absolutely.
Huge weapon. The guy that probably most people would miss if they were trying to name that group.